Welcome back to the uSports Report. Now it's time for the big, bright idea where we talk about something in the world of sports that we think needs to change or needs to be talked about a little bit more. So Tyler, today we're going to talk about LeBron and his legacy in the NBA. He's definitely set a few records, broken a few, and shown us really what an all-star athlete looks like. You've said it before, one of the greatest players of all time. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, we'll start it off with Game 6 tonight. Should Cleveland lose on their home floor for the second year in a row, that's going to bring LeBron James's final record to 2 wins and 6 losses, Kimberly.
Wow.
6 losses. So definitely not Jordan by any stretch.
No.
Definitely not Kobe by any stretch. But what he's done to get his teams to the finals. Now, I'm not talking about, his Miami teams that were just loaded with star power. You had Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, those kind of guys. I'm talking about the early Cleveland teams, when he had guys like Eddie Jones on his team. Now, you're probably looking at me like, who is Eddie Jones? Exactly. Just the fact that LeBron has been able to get to the finals 8 times, and he's made it now, what is this, his 6th straight year, I believe?
Yeah.
His 6th straight year in the finals. He's definitely leaving a lasting legacy on the game. However, like I said, should they lose this game tonight, I don't necessarily want to say that you cannot hold it against him, because he is out there. He's doing all that he can, basically. He's putting up 41. He does need a little bit more help, but this Cleveland team that he's on this year is the best Cleveland team he has ever been on.
It is, and I found this quote online from ShowtimeSports.sportsblog.com's Nick Petruseveski. If LeBron can't beat them with the Cavs, he will have no choice but to explore other options. The only way LeBron doesn't leave Cleveland is if they do win this championship or the team trades up and gets Carmelo Anthony. I don't see the Cavaliers winning a title while the Spurs and Warriors are around, so it's most likely out for LeBron.
So I was actually just about to ask you that. What do you personally think LeBron would do should the Cavaliers lose the finals? Do you think he sticks around in Cleveland? Do you think he goes and tries to find a new home?
I think LeBron is not a selfish guy. He doesn't seem to be a selfish athlete in his individual game or just in general. We don't really see him making a lot of moves to really better just himself. He certainly looks out for his team, his teammates, and his coaching staff, what he can do to make that team look better. I think he came back to Cleveland and recently has done quite a bit for them, but I think if they're not able to get this big win over Golden State, they put so much effort in this series, and the entire playoffs, we watch them just dominate. If LeBron's not able to get this win, I think he'll be looking elsewhere for some more success. He's a young guy. He's still got quite a bit of years ahead of him in the NBA, and I don't think he wants to let these be the years that people remember him for.
Yeah, we're starting to see LeBron slow down. He's not the monster that he was for those 4 years in Miami where he was virtually averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
And should he wanted to, he could have scored 50 points a game.
Yeah, he really could.
He could have. Now at this stage, he's slowed down just a little bit. I know sometimes he shows you those flashes of his old self when he gets out on the break and throws down the big alley-oops.
He does.
But I honestly don't know whether he'll stay or go. I think the pros and cons sort of, I feel like they're even. If he leaves Cleveland again, he's going to be labeled a traitor, stuff like that, because he couldn't bring his hometown a championship. Now, Cleveland has not had a professional sports title in 63 years, ladies and gentlemen. So if LeBron is able to win a championship in Cleveland, by far he will be, he'll have a statue in Cleveland, which he probably will anyways.
Probably.
But
he's made quite a name for Cleveland.
Absolutely. He's virtually put him on the map.
He has.
When you look at Cleveland sports, you have the Indians in baseball. They're usually okay. The Browns, we're not even going to talk about the Browns.
They're not favored to win any game so far in the upcoming year.
That's
all we have to say
That pretty
about
much
them.
speaks volumes there. But the Cavaliers, they've really been the lone bright spot for Cleveland since LeBron came into the league. Of course, obviously not while he was gone in Miami. But speaking of Miami, as a Miami Heat fan, Dwayne Wade's toward the end of his career. Chris Bosh, we don't know what the situation is with him. Miami is now looking into landing big free agents. Kevin Durant is a name that has surfaced if he does not stay in Oklahoma City. I think LeBron would be great going back to Miami, where he has Pat Riley. He has a home in South Beach already. He's well established in the community. He spent 4 years there.
Yeah.
So he's very comfortable down there. The nightlife, you've never heard of anybody taking a vacation to Cleveland.
You really have not. And when people saw that LeBron was picking Cleveland, you know, I know when that first happened, it was really close to the NFL draft. Johnny Manziel had just recently decided with the Cleveland Browns when they made him that offer in the draft and told him, you're coming here. You know, Johnny was excited because LeBron was also moving to Cleveland, and they've had quite a record together as friends. I think that LeBron moving to Cleveland kind of shocked a lot of people, but it wasn't really something that was a surprise. I think we kind of saw it coming. After a few years at Miami, he wanted to go back and finish what he had started with Cleveland, but he hasn't really done that yet. And it's been a couple of years. Granted, he could take a couple more and really work towards it for Cleveland, but I don't know. LeBron really, he's not towards the end of his career, but like you said, he's slowed down a lot. And he's really worked on being a more generous athlete with his teammates. And in order for him to do that, he's going to need to remain on a team that has those big names, that star power, and some great coaching staff to really give LeBron that extra push he needs to keep pushing himself. He wants that championship. And if he does go back to Miami, should Kevin Durant also go to Miami? Dream team.
Watch out.
A beautiful team, a roster full of names that you will never forget. Some huge wins, I think, and LeBron might be a little more successful going back to Miami. Like you said, he's developed a family there. He has a home there. And everybody out in Miami knows who he is. Of
course, I mean, everyone around the world knows who he is. But looking at this current Cavs team that he's on, he has J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. That Kevin Love trade has been a very hot topic as of late. Should they have kept Andrew Wiggins and left Kevin Love in Minnesota? You know, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But this Cavaliers team that he is on is legit. But the fact that they just cannot get over the Golden State hurdle really speaks volumes to the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference.
It does.
I mean, you said it yourself. You don't, from that quote, he doesn't see LeBron winning a championship as long as the Spurs and the Warriors are around. I may as well throw in the Thunder while you're at it.
Yeah.
You know, with this current
definitely.
group, with this current group that they have.
You really need to put them in
Durant
there.
and Westbrook leave, clearly they won't be as favored as they are. But the Eastern Conference, very watered down. It was sort of like a cakewalk for LeBron to the finals. Do you think that easy play in the early rounds of the playoffs had an effect on Cavaliers as they got to the finals and faced a very strong Golden State team?
You know, I do. I think that it's one of those things when it comes down to it, you go into the finals, you're expecting big play. And these guys came into a final series right off the bat that was a little easier for them than a lot of other teams faced. You know, we watched Golden State face off with San Antonio, one of their biggest rivals, someone that was definitely difficult for Golden State to overcome. However, they were able to, and they remained strong in their series with every other competitor that they went against. We saw some losses for Golden State, but ultimately, we watched Golden State progress and get a little bit stronger throughout these finals. With the Cavaliers, they kind of started off easy and worked their way into a stronger finals. They played against the Golden State Warriors the first 5 games an interesting way. I think that the Cavaliers ultimately could have beat Golden State right off the bat in the first 3 games if they had really buckled down. But they started off with such an easy beginning to the finals. I think they got a little cocky in their heads and thought that this series was going to go differently than it did last year. And you know, last year they faced off with Golden State, won at home, or lost at home, and they were really disappointed. They really need to get emotional about this to beat Golden State.
And again, that game going on tonight on ABC at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Potentially the very last game of the season, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss that. But again, switch over after our show's over. Now, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on social media. We're on Facebook at uSports Report. You can find us on Twitter at uSports Report. Also, get onto our YouTube channel. We have every single segment, every episode on there for you. You can watch at your very own convenience for absolutely free. And give us feedback. We want to know what you want us to talk about on the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we have for you this week. We'll be back next week. Khalil will be back. Don't go anywhere. You've been watching the uSports Report.